What's happening, good people? Welcome to the channel. I'm Wes, aka Mr. Budget Watch, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Nodus Trieste, which we have right here. So this was kindly provided to the channel by Dean from One to Watch. His channel link will be down in the description. He's a really great guy, and he was kind enough to let me borrow this, and I lent him a watch to check out on his channel. So definitely, go and give him a follow and a subscribe, and take a look at his socials as well. They'll be linked in the description. So this is, like I said, the Nodus Trieste. They don't actually sell these brand new anymore, but you can get them on places, like eBay and stuff like that. So if you do really have to have one, I'll try and find one on eBay, but you might be able to see one in your country. I know they don't come up in the UK all that often. So anyway, let's get the specifications out of the way, and then we'll talk what I like and what I'm not so keen on, if there is anything, but you'll find out later. So the diameter for this one is 41.5 millimeters. We have a standard 28mm lug width, a lug to lug of 49 millimeters, and as you can see, the lugs are drilled. The thickness is 12.8 millimeters. We have a PVD coated 316L stainless steel case, 200 meters of water resistance, a domed sapphire crystal, but it does actually look flat, so I'm not really sure if someone's got the specifications wrong on another review, because looking at it, it doesn't look domed at all. So I think it's actually ever so slightly curved, domed, but it doesn't look double domed in my opinion. But anyway, so it's got BGW9 Lume, and it weighs 100 gram on this strap. So yeah, very nice watch though. So taking a look at the, we'll start with the bezel first, and it's got a really nice, I'm presuming it's ceramic, it feels like ceramic, bezel insert, really nice clicks. I mean, just listen to that. That sounds so nice. The action is really nice. The bezel is rock solid as well. There is no back play at all, and it lines up absolutely perfectly. I love these little markers as well that takes you around all the way to the 20, so you can time a 20-minute dive, 15, 10, and then you've got every 5-minute intervals as well. So it's really handy if you do want to go diving with this watch. And I love the contrast as well with the white against the black. It just works really nicely together. So really, what's the word I'm looking for? Anyway, I can't think of the name. I'll put it on screen if I can remember. But yeah, it's an absolutely beautiful beautiful watch. So looking on the inner side, you can see we've got a printed white minute track, and then circular indices for most of them. And then we've got these like trapezoid ones at the 3 and 9, and then rectangular batons at the 6 and 12 o'clock. Under the 12 we have Nodus printed, and then Trieste 200 meters above the 6, and then we've got a little date window just sandwiched between the 4 and 5 o'clock. Looking at the crown, you can see it is signed and screw down. I'll talk more about its functionality a little bit later on. But yeah, back to the dial now, and it is got a subtle texture to it. It's like a sandpaper finish, and it's very fine and very subtle, but I do like it. It just gives it a little bit of character, and I love that little pop of yellow for the branding as well, just right there, the Trieste. Really nice, and I just think it just adds a little bit of interest. So taking a look at the handset, you can see we've got a like a rectangular lollipop on there with a little syringe needle, and then the hour and minute are really strange. They actually flare outwards and get wider towards the end, and again they've got that little syringe there. High polish, bordered and lume filled, as are the rest of the indices. They're all high polish surround with lume filled centers. So looking at the side, you can see we've got this really nice sort of coin edge bezel, horizontal brushing, which is really good quality, very smooth, and it's really subtle as well, thanks to the PVD coating. You can also, like I mentioned already, it is drilled lugs as well, which is always nice for those quick strap changes. Again, we'll take a look at this side. You can see we've got that PVD crown, and it is signed. Really nice, good amount of grip to it as well. A bit more on that later. Right guys, so let me just quickly take this strap off, and I'll show you the case back. So as you can see, we have a screw down case back, and then we've got this really nice design work in the center, and it is a very it's like embossed sort of, so it's got a nice feel and texture. You can also see we have some specifications all the way around. It is a little bit tricky to read though, with it being PVD. The specifications don't really stand out too much, so it's definitely a really stealthy look to it. Really nice though. I like the circular thing is to remove the case back as well. Just something a little bit different than usual rectangles. Build quality here next, and it feels super solid, this watch. It's 360, like I mentioned already, and it's just so dense and well packed together, and it just feels really well fit and finished. So really impressive job by Nodus on that front. So we're going to talk strap next, and this is just a single pass nylon strap. Very nice quality nylon though. One of the nicest nylon straps I've ever come across in terms of actual fabric quality. It's so nice, it's super smooth, really pliable, and it just feels fantastic against your wrist. The adjustment holes, there's plenty of them. They're not heat treated though, so you can see they are sort of fraying a little bit. But this is an old watch, so I'm not really sure how long they've held up for, but you can see, look there, just there, they've started to fray a little bit. So one little point of improvement, definitely need some heat treating on these adjustment holes. And again, on the end as well, it's got a little bit on the end, so the end stayed intact for the most part. You can see it's frayed in places, but again, this is a used watch. So, you know, I think it's held up really well to say how long it's been used for, and how it's been worn as well. So very impressed. So here we have two fixed keepers. You can see they're double stitched in place and PVD coated as well as brushed. And then we have a PVD coated buckle and a tang as well. You can see the side is drilled, so you can always swap out the buckle if it ever gets damaged. So now we're going to talk in use and comfort. And well, we're going to talk in use first, and starting with the crown, as I mentioned already, it is screwed down, so you just give it a little unscrew and it pops off. And because there's no crown guards, it's such a breeze to use. So this first stage allows you to wind the movement, pull it out one, and you can adjust the day, and then two allows you to adjust the time. So you can see adjusting the time right now. So very nice, and it's such an easy crown to grip. It's a decent size as well. All feels really nice and solid, good amount of movement to it. So the crown feels really nice and planted. It doesn't sort of wobble, there's no horrible feedback, and you can just see how smooth this movement is. And then to put it back in, you just press it in and then just screw it back in when you need to. So just like that, and then it's just as easy as that. So very impressive. As for comfort, it's a very comfortable watch. Because it's only a single pass strap, it doesn't add a lot of bulk to this watch. Usually with NATO straps, they pass under twice, and you do get a little bit of a top heavy feeling sometimes. But this one, with it being single pass, it doesn't add a lot of bulk, like I said, or height to your watch, and it just fits absolutely perfectly. You'll see there is a little bit of lug overhang on my wrist, but you know, that's just because I have slim wrists. So this one, yeah, 6.5, 7 inch wrist, I think it would fit a little bit better. To the strap, again, you know, really nice and comfortable on wrist, which you'll see in a minute. Super soft fabric, like I've mentioned already. So anyway, I'm going to stop waffling, put it on wrist, and just show you what it actually wears like. Right guys, so here it is on my 6-inch wrist, and you know what, it actually fits just about okay. I think the diameter is about as big as I can accommodate on my wrist. The lugs do overhang a little bit. You can just see at the top and at the bottom. Because it's 49 lug to lug, it's a little bit big for my 6-inch wrist. But if you've got 6.5, 7, 7.5, then this will fit you no problem whatsoever. Profile wise, you know, it's really nice. It does hug my wrist really well. Because like I said, that strap doesn't add a lot of bulk, you actually do get nice contact between the lugs and your wrist. You can just see they do curve down a little bit as well, just there. Just helps bring the strap down really nicely. So the profile, really good. Ergonomics of this case are fantastic, so really good job by Nodus there. The strap, again, top notch, absolutely fantastic. It's super soft against your skin, really smooth, no fatigue whatsoever, and it is just so comfortable to wear. It's a really lightweight and fine fabric, and it's just really nice. You can see we have 3 adjustment holes left over, so this strap will fit smaller wrists, but the watch probably won't because of those long lug to lugs. If the lug to lug was 47, then yeah, I'd say yeah, it would definitely fit slimmer wrists. The mine probably a 5.75, but as the lug to lug is 49, then it's not going to fit you guys with slim wrists, unfortunately. So what we're going to do now is pop it off wrist and talk about the Lume. Right guys, so next up is obviously the Lume, and this is using, like I mentioned earlier on in the review, BGW9, which is a very good compound of Lume. So as I've mentioned already, we've got loomed hands and loomed indices, and the Lume is actually pretty good. It's definitely not the best I've ever encountered though. It's definitely not as good as the Seiko Samurai, but it is very impressive. I love the colour of it as well, and it does get bright. It does last quite long. It doesn't quite outlast the Seiko again. Similar in price, which is why I thought it'd make a good comparison. But the Seiko's Lume is definitely better. It gets brighter and it lasts a bit longer, but this is very impressive as well. Like I said, it does get bright, it does last a long time, but it's not quite on a par, like I said, with the Seiko. But it is really good in its own right. Could it be better? Well, yeah, I think their newer models, what they've released, are a lot better. The compound has been revised and improved, and it's more generous in its application as well. Very good at Lume though. Can't complain really at all. But yeah, it's like I said, it's better on their newer models. So now let's talk movement, and this is using the Swiss STP11, which is essentially an ETA 2843 clone. So this is a 26 dual movement. It is high beat at 28,800 beats per hour, which you can just see by that nice sweep of the seconds hand. Negative to plus 20 seconds per day, which is really good. Bidirectional rotor, hacking and hand winding. So it is a very well-spec'd movement, and like I said, it's based on the ETA 2843, so which is a really good caliber movement. And this again is a very good caliber of movement as well. It's actually about as expensive as an ETA, but I think they're a little bit easier to come by than ETA movements, which is why companies have been using these a lot more than ETAs. But yeah, the movement, like I mentioned already, it's super smooth, feels fantastic, it winds brilliantly, and it just feels super solid and so well put together. Really impressed with how it is, and it's really smooth as well with that high beat. Beautiful movement, easy to adjust, you've got that thingy date as well. It's just such a nice movement to use. It's a pleasure, really enjoyed using it. So yeah, now we get on to my final thoughts. Price wise of these, I don't really know what they're selling for, to be perfectly honest, so I can't really say whether it's worth it because you can't buy them brand new. I think retail they were $500 when they come out, but now obviously you'll get them much cheaper if you can actually find one, that is. So is it worth that if you can find one? If you can find one for 200-300 quid, I'd say you know, you're laughing. So probably around $350. I'd say you're going to get a cracking watch for that price. Approaching 500, I wouldn't pay that used, to be honest. I'd stick to around the $300-350. If you can get one used that price, then you know you're laughing with that, especially if you get the one with the STP movement in. They do a cheaper variant with a Seiko movement, I believe, which is about $100 cheaper. So if you do get one of them, just make sure it's got the STP movement in and not the Seiko. Yes, the Seiko movement is really good, but if you can get one with this movement in, it's so much better. You get that beautiful sweep, and it's also got a better power reserve, and it's more accurate than the thing as well, than the Seiko. So yeah, I'm very impressed with this watch. And if you can find one for a good price, then I'd say, yeah, definitely pull the trigger. Really good watch. So again, massive thank you to Dean for letting me take a look at this. You know, go ahead and check out his channel if you don't already. So thanks. See you soon. Thanks for watching the video. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any uploads. And of course, follow me on social media at Mr. Budget Watch. Thanks again. I'll see you soon.